Hey, Childfree Wealth listeners. So, what you're finding here is this is a bonus episode, or a series of bonus episodes, technically, where I sit down with Anna from We're Not Kidding and her husband Grant, and we go through financial planning. Like real financial planning, life planning, their numbers, their life. And what you're going to find is they're like a lot of people. That means you might be able to get a little bit about what the process is for being financial planning and kind of tips and tricks, but this is not advice for you. I'm giving them advice, not you. So this is for entertainment and educational purposes only. There's a series of these episodes. So if you like this one, grab the next one. So I last time I saw you was before the holidays. So how are the holidays?
Good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
felt really nice, pretty relaxing, and
Yeah.
we didn't have to go far. Yeah.
Yeah. They were
Cool.
good. How about you?
Can't complain. We went on a trip, went on a cruise, and caught COVID, so that was fun.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
you're kind of like guaranteed, So, and the hard part is before we met, I put you on a budget before like the holidays, and that's never a good time to do that.
Yeah, we found that out.
Did you look at it at all, or did we just blow it off completely?
No, we did look at it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And our gift giving total was definitely more than we expected.
Well, at least you tracked it, so we know.
But exactly. Yeah. Thanks, Anna.
Wow, you throwing her under the bus like that?
No, I mean, thanks for recording it and tracking it.
You said like, thanks, Anna, like, she spent all the money, not me.
No, it's a genuine thank you. No, I think I spent all the money. Throw myself under. Yeah, so that was more than expected, and I think otherwise we maybe weren't too bad. Food we spent a little more on, getting ready for holiday meals.
I feel like it was definitely a process of having the budget in our mind, but then continuing our normal habits, but comparing them. So it's like a micro step, maybe.
Mhm. First month budgeting never goes well. It's just kind of like, it's just like you're always guaranteed that something's going to mess up. And on the holidays, I mean, come on, like there's no way to get there.
Yeah.
We'll revisit that a little later. I want to look at February. So February is one of the fun ones because it's a short month. Does that change your pay stubs, Grant?
I don't know, to be honest. That's a good question.
You get paid every other week?
The 15th and 30th. And
Okay,
I feel like regardless, they've been the same.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true or not, but
it won't change it much.
yeah.
So we get the short months, sometimes change it, and then every once in a while there's like 3 paychecks in a month if you get paid every other week.
Got it.
And Anna, as you're taking in money on your own and your small business, your month will bounce all over the place. So you got to kind of plan for each month. But we'll come back to that in a minute. Let's set an agenda for today. What do you guys want to make sure we talk about? I have some things on my list, but I want to make sure I have your stuff first.
It's a good question. We talked about it a little bit beforehand, and we did talk about maybe budgeting stuff. And we did spend some time going through the financial foundations videos. And it was really helpful and timely to listen to like some of the budgeting tricks and how to budget. And yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. If that would be something we could visit about today, that would be great.
Budget. Got it. The other one I want to make sure we circle back to is goals, because that's the bigger picture stuff we were working on. And also because we were on a new year, I want to make sure like the financial goals, other things we want to make sure we focus in on. So one of the things you probably saw in the video is having that goal allows you to like debate. Do I want to build this house or do I want to go to eat? Like, it just helps something. And I really don't care what it is, but that comparison between the two. So be that. And then the other one I had on my list. So I saw you started putting stuff in Right Capital. So I have a couple questions from there. And then anything else that was on your list, you two were pre-gaming, setting a list for me. So
I think it was mostly updates otherwise
Oh
that
yeah,
we talked through.
that's right.
all right,
We had
let's go with
talked-
the updates first, and then we'll go through the more in-depth stuff.
Sure.
So we did sell the car that we wanted to sell.
Yeah.
Okay. How'd it
Which
feel?
we it felt really good, and we wouldn't have done it had it not been our homework. So that was really nice because I knew we wouldn't miss it, but like Anna was out of town all weekend, so I didn't have a car, and I didn't think it would be a big deal, and it wasn't a big deal at all. I didn't
We're in walking distance from most things that we need. So
yeah.
Yeah, I've been having this car discussion with a lot of couples, and even me and my wife had the debate. So we got 2 cars. I work from home. I probably could have one.
Mm-hmm.
But we're in the middle of nowhere, so that makes it a little harder. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Good. And by the way, you shut off the insurance and all that.
I did today, yep. Yeah.
Okay.
So we
Yep.
sold it last week.
Yeah, you knew the meeting was coming up, so you had to get it done before you meet with me. Is that kind of?
That was exactly how it went. And we did the same with our conversation with the bank about our mortgage insurance. And so we're getting an appraisal on the calendar.
Nice.
So yeah, that feels good too. And will immediately save us $40 a month, which is not that much, but it's like when you combine the car payments and the PMI, it's like $100 a month that we're not spending on stuff we don't need.
Yep. Are they charging you for the appraisal?
200.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's no problem. That and they may come back and be like, okay, it's off by $1,000 or something, and you may have to make 1 or 2 more payments, and then they'll take the payment. There's some games there.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we know what we need the house to be appraised at to meet the threshold of whatever we owe on it currently to be able to remove PMI. So I'm gonna try to do a couple last minute things real quick and get somebody over here.
Depending on the appraisal, they may not even come in.
Yeah, we did talk about that too, which would be nice. The outside's a lot nicer than it used to be too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they literally call them drive-by appraisals. They drive by, take a photo, and then keep going. And then there's other appraisals where they come in and measure down to the inch.
Sure.
Interesting.
Yeah, and there's no logic behind it, so not much I can help you with there. By the way, I am going to point out that is why I try to meet with you monthly, because if we had met on a regular schedule, it would have pushed the accountability.
I would have done it last month.
Yeah.
It sounds silly, but going to the principal's office and having a little accountability. I was just talking about somebody earlier today. We all need just someone to look over our shoulders and go, "Are you doing it?" "Oh yeah, I am." It's
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we could have done both these things a year ago almost and had the same effect, and we just we weren't that conscious of it, I think. But just talking regularly and having it at the front of our minds is so nice to always be thinking about, not always, but set aside time to think about finances in a more constructive way, less reactionary.
My goal long term is for you two to have a really short, but just every week, a budget meeting. Just kind of, how's it going? Where's it going? What are we doing finances? And I've gotten people make a date night or drink night or whatever. It doesn't have to be too formal. Some people like using apps you need a budget or other things, whatever works for you. It doesn't matter. But the whole point is every week we're doing a little something, and you're in a much better place in a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
One more on the car. I don't know what your state requires, but whatever it is to turn in the license plate or whatever for property taxes or anything like that. Is there any?
I don't know. It didn't come up, so I'm not sure.
All right, that becomes homework.
Yeah, because we
so
would owe that in May when we would have to renew the.
yeah, or they may even give you credit for a couple months.
All
You know,
right.
it depends, and it's completely like random by state. Like some states, you go into the system, you say, I sold the car and I destroyed the plates. Or some other places are like, you need to come in, drop off the plates, get a receipt, something on that.
Okay.
The other one, I don't think it fits, but just keep in mind, like, if you had like Sirius or anything like that, any subscriptions for the car, you got to cancel.
Got it.
Yeah.
Too old
Okay.
for that.
That's what I assumed, but I had to finish my checklist to make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, probably actually too cheap for that. It probably did exist when I bought the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of like those check boxes and making sure.
Yeah.
Good. So that'll give us some room in the budget. That's good. Any other updates?
I went into the spreadsheet you started, the budget spreadsheet, and I just made a change to health insurance because I did call my person who is in charge of that stuff and talk to her about Grant's new income. And so that she said that it puts us out of any tax break. So I just reflected that there.
Hold on one second. But that might make it more worthwhile to go into Grant's insurance.
Yeah. What is it? March, you said, is when we can.
Yeah. Originally I thought it was February, and it's February when they'll start sending the stuff out, but it's not until March that the period happens. So you still have a little more time. And it is a weird time of year, but
yeah, that is weird. But that'll probably be much of our next meeting. So what I want you to do is send me the packet for open enrollment, and we will go line by line. Hey, what makes sense? What doesn't? The insurance is a great example. Now, when you have no subsidies, I'm willing to bet it's going to be cheaper or better to be on his. It's just kind of how that happens.
Okay. And then on that line of thought, you found out that you are not offered disability insurance through your work. So we made a separate appointment with who we do our car and home insurance through for Friday this week.
Yeah. I will send you a link also for somebody I use.
Okay.
Disability is one of those, like, you want to get like a couple quotes, like, and they're all over the place. Like, I got some that are real cheap. Grant, do you have any, like, is there like an organization for your job or like a certification group or anything like that? So, like, for example, because I'm a CFP, there's a group of CFPs together, a national organization. Is there anything like that for you?
I don't think so. Nothing that I can think of.
Okay. I would just like do some Googling.
Yeah.
And just make up terms. It's like, so for example, there's a National Association for Freelancers, or, like, there's a whole bunch of those.
Okay.
And if they have a group policy, it's usually a lot cheaper than getting it on your own.
Cool.
So
yeah,
that's kind of what I'm trying to do. Also, whenever like a survey comes by for your company, you should mark down, hey, you guys should give us disability insurance.
Yeah, sure.
Like if they do the HR workforce, do you like us surveys?
Yeah.
Just remember to put that one on there. Cool. So we will, I'll say that too. Another one on the subsidy though, Anna. So chances are you guys are going to have some extra taxes to pay for last year. His income went up. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Do you go to a tax preparer or do you do it yourself?
We use a tax preparer.
Okay. Good call. Also keep in mind we're a little late, but January 15th was the deadline for your estimated payments for the end of last year based on, the income you make on your own. So what we'll do is once you have your taxes for 2022, I have some tax planning software. We'll run it through and we'll look through options and things that could save you money and all that fun stuff to look at the bigger plan. But for this year, because you had a change of income, it just messes up all, like, oh, I had this all nice and balanced, and then now everything's weird. So we may end up owing money or not, or I don't know, but something.
Sure.
So we'll make sure to get that done. All right. Any other updates, Anna? You were on a roll there.
I bought the treadmill.
Okay.
Maybe that's a confession. I don't know.
That's a different session. Okay. We break out the couch, you tell me about your past. No. Now here's the question. Are you using it?
Every day almost. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Now, do you have a gym membership we need to cancel?
No. Mm-mm.
You were making faces for a second. It looked like you might.
So with no, I have a gym, not gym. It's not a gym membership, but I have a new membership fee now. With the iFit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Membership.
My point is, if you decide to take the exercise in the house, then we get rid of the gym memberships.
Yes,
It's just kind of like I got people that have, had a Planet Fitness membership for decades and can't get rid of it. That was pre-COVID. COVID actually was good to like clear out gym memberships because like they actually allowed people to leave. But like you want to talk about something that's hard to cancel, try canceling a gym membership. Like, they always have some rule somewhere and you're not getting rid of it.
Yeah.
As long as you're using the treadmill, we're okay. Now, that probably is all tied into a question I have, which is I was looking at your right capital. And you connected most of your accounts. That's great. And I saw we got a credit card with a balance on there, but we have a checking account with money in it. So tell me what's going on.
Which credit card has a balance?
So the REI.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that one, it gets a balance every month that gets paid off at the end of the month.
To zero?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it has $7,000 on it. That's why that's a large amount to get paid off each month.
Yeah. It could be the treadmill and some of the other.
Oh yeah, the treadmill's on there.
My point is we want credit cards to be zero at the end of the month.
Yeah.
The interest rates on credit cards have gotten stupidly high and your savings is making nothing. So I've actually gotten the habit. I don't know if your credit card will allow it. I actually pay mine off weekly.
Yeah, I heard that in your talk. Yeah.
Yep. So, see, you could pass the quiz on the talk even. Like he actually watched the videos. I'm impressed. We'll see if Anna passes the same quiz. But
Dang it.
And I like that tip too, because it is, I don't know, it is a lot to see it like go up and up, and it just feels like harder to kind of know like, well, how did that happen when you just look at it once a month instead of once a week.
Yep. And credit cards allow you to break your budget much easier. Because you don't feel it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So maybe what you do is on your weekly budget meetings, pay off your credit cards. It just, in theory, if you pay it off each month, it shouldn't have a balance and shouldn't charge you interest. But then I'll have somebody drag their feet a little bit and pick up some interest on it. And that adds up really quick. So just one of those, you've got the extra cash. So, I'm not upset, but it's just, we got to move it around.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Totally. Yeah. And it's set up right now to just pay off automatically every month, which has been nice. But I do like that idea of more often.
Well, Anna said hey, but we didn't really follow the budget, but it allowed us to keep eyes on it. That's kind of what I'm trying to do, is build some habits, because here's what happens with me. So I will once a week do all my budget, although my wife's credit card only allows me to pay it twice a month. It annoys me, but whatever. But what it'll allow me to do is oh yeah, that came through and that got charged here. And I know that. And it also allows me every once in a while, something will be weird. You get charged an annual fee or a subscription, and wait a minute. And then you can answer that right then and there. There's often with subscriptions, you don't even realize they're renewing. What I've done now, I picked up Showtime as a subscription, and it was 3 months free and then something else. What I've actually gotten to is in my calendar, it has cancel Showtime on this day. Not because I don't like Showtime, I just finish the shows, but cancel it. But then if I'm looking at my card every week, I go, oh yeah, I got billed for this. I must have missed it,
Yeah.
Yep.
rather than letting it go a whole nother month. See, you're smiling because you know what I'm talking about, Anna.
Yeah.
We discovered we were paying a subscription for Peacock that we didn't know we had. And so that allowed us to watch a show we wanted to watch. But I think we should cancel it now.
Yep, that's exactly it.
It was because of Right Capital, because I think Grant must have started it because I don't see your credit card charges. And that's when I caught it. And I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
So
Yep. I do joke that my one luxury in life is that I can get all the streaming services I want, but I only watch one at a time. Really, I'm watching binge watching something. So right now I'm on Hulu. I'm not watching my Netflix right this second. Now my wife might be, so that's a discussion. But like, I could cancel one for 6 months, and then Apple TV is another one I've canceled, and then pick back up, watch a whole bunch of shows, and then cancel. By the way, they hate it when you do that, but like. They want us to just keep paying it forever, but that's throwing money away because I can't watch all of them at once.
Yeah, that's a good tip. We've done that a
little bit. Yeah,
should pick it back up now.
Yeah.
Well, the chances are, if you look at your credit card every week, you're going to see things more than if you look at it once a month.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's what that is. And what really annoys me, and it'll help you maybe a little bit, is like, I just paid that off yesterday. How is it now this balance? And it was something that was, pending, or, so it just keeps you focused on.
Yeah.
I realized too, also probably that unexpected work trip that the reimbursement for is on there.
Yep.
Okay. So if you have business expenses, two things. One, ask if your company has a company card that you can get, so that then you're not responsible for the expenses. One of the challenges is like, your boss is good with that expense, whatever. And then like the billing office is like, nah, or something, whoever's, you don't want to get stuck in one of those expense routines. The other way to do that is just make one card all business expenses.
Yeah.
And then the others. But the other one I have with people with business expenses is, don't wait to put your expense reports in, because you're paying interest and you're paying that and they're not paying it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So Anna, this is homework for you. In that once a week budget meeting, you say, hey, Grant, are there any expenses you need to put in?
Hopefully never. Hopefully once a year.
The other one for you, Anna, for your business, you may want to have a separate credit card or debit card for the business.
I do.
Okay, good. That'll allow you to track the expenses, and that works well.
Yeah.
But but Grant's a great example. He has it mixed in there for a trip, which is not a problem, but it's just a budgeting, accounting thought process.
Yeah.
When you were watching the videos, you'll see a lot of the stuff. It's not like about the numbers of it. It's just picking up different behaviors and looking at things differently to keep you on a good path.
Yeah.
Good. All right. So we got that credit card set. That's good. All right. Before we go to budget, what are our goals for 2023? So now we had some big goals. We're talking about, building a house and all that fun stuff, but you got to come back a little. How do we, January of next year, we check back and go, okay, this is where you're at. How do you know you did the right things this year?
Are there any of those loans we have yet to pay off?
We paid off our home equity loan.
Okay.
It would be good if we're not. It would be good if we're not paying mortgage insurance. And I don't know. I don't know. It might be nice to pay off the solar panels.
So that's the consumer loan that's listed in Right Cap.
Yep.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. So you have, I don't know, $30,000 in cash right now. That's what it says. And that loan's $8,000. Why don't you pay that off tomorrow?
That is a good question. I don't know. I think it feels like more recent that we've had the luxury of being able to pay off loans now, instead of feeling like not necessarily we can only make the minimum, but feeling like the minimum is enough. It has been kind of wild to see our savings grow in a way it never has before. I don't know. Is there any, not to just ask you the same question, but is there a reason not to pay it
So,
off?
so let me show you this one. This one's fun. What's the interest you're paying on that solar? Any idea?
No idea.
Yeah.
They're usually like 7, 6, something like that. I'm just looking to see if when you on the loan if it says anything. No, it doesn't. So 5, 6, 7%. Let's just guess something like that. Your savings account that you have your money in is probably earning 0.03%.
Hmm.
So each month you're essentially losing money by not paying off that loan.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we could pay it off tomorrow. We could pay it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So watch this. Let's say we pay off the solar, the cell phone. The cell phone, the credit card, the solar. You said that other loan, you had a small loan. That one's gone, right? It was like $1,000, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me take that off here. Right, capital. So tomorrow, you could be debt free except for your house.
Yeah. Yeah, we really could.
Now that would only leave you like 3,000-4,000 in your savings, but you know what? You have no debts.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there any I know that you mentioned this, but I don't think I got it. I didn't get far enough in the videos to get the total payoff, but I
Gonna
know
fail the
that
quiz. Oh wait, no.
I know you mentioned a certain amount in an emergency fund,
Mhm.
and you had a formula for that I can't recall off the top of my head, but is that anything we should keep in mind as we're looking to pay off
Okay.
loans that we have?
So here's the way I look at it. The debt you owe is effectively a financial emergency because
Okay.
you're losing that amount of money over the year,
Yeah.
that interest. And it's a guaranteed risk-free return. Your mortgage, I'm going to ignore that because that's long-term and that's low interest. Cool. So the first thing we're going to do is pay off all our debts, which you could do tomorrow. Then we're going to want 3 to 6 months in emergency. This goes back to the goals.
Okay.
If we set a goal being debt free and having a 6-month emergency fund, that's solid. That's now stuff happens, which by the way, the past few years have taught us stuff happens, who knows what. The way we look at it is you can do 3 months if you have a pretty solid income and no variations. You have one solid income and a small business. That's what I'm going more towards the 6 months. If you both had a small business, it'd be absolute. We need 6 months just in case. You could probably get away with a little less, but I haven't heard anyone complain when they had a little more emergency fund and then something happened. So I'll give you an example. Just before the holidays, my house got hit by lightning. And when I say got hit by lightning, it came down the cable, like old cable TV, which I don't use, and actually singed part of the house. So it hit. I'm up here in my office. I had sparks coming out of my battery backup, blew my computer, blew the electricity, blew the generator. Got hit hard.
Oh.
Now, I am now a month and a half later. I got a new computer. I've had 4 electricians out here about all that. But you know what? I paid for it on my emergency fund. It's not a big deal. It's a pain in the butt, but I'm okay. Without an emergency fund, that's hard. We had no power, no nothing. I do everything on my computer. I had meetings, the next day that I had to cancel, but I literally overnighted a computer to me because I always came around. So that's what emergency fund is for, just as much as hey, if you lose your job.
Sure.
So the point is you pay off all your debts. Now we have no debt payment in our budget. We can put everything we're putting towards the debt, we can put towards an emergency fund.
Sure.
You probably can have 6-month emergency fund set up in about 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can start working on the goals like paying down the house or paying for the new property you're going to buy or whatever.
Yeah. Cool.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, the question is, are you going to pay off your debt tomorrow or wait until the day before our next meeting?
That was a very good question.
We can do it online, so we could actually.
You can do it tonight. Yeah.
Sooner. We can
Yeah.
do it tonight.
Yep. Now I know I have to keep an eye on you too. So yeah. Everybody gets their own like combo of kicking in the butt and patting on the back. But I mean, look at it this way. That now brings your monthly expenses and everything down to just your basic housing and whatever fun stuff you want to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So you guys are very normal. I'll find people with like giant savings accounts, but then owe debt. And I'm like, use this to pay this. And they're like, well, no. I'm like, yeah. They're like, but it feels good to grow my savings. You're right. It feels good. But it feels just as good to owe nothing to anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like that idea.
Another reality check to you. So you pay off all that debt. You owe nothing to anybody. You got a little bit in your savings. You are doing better than most of the United States. So half the US cannot afford a $400 emergency. So by the way, I'm not saying you're doing like dramatically great, but like in comparison with the rest of the US, you're doing phenomenal. Right on. It may not feel that way, but you are. Questions about that?
I don't think so. No, I think that makes a lot of sense.
So let's go back to goals. So our goals for 2023. So we got pay off our debt, which we can do tonight. Gotta love when you
moved from tomorrow to tonight. I noticed.
Well, he said he could do it online tonight, so I just. But hey, I love when I can get my goals done that quick. If I lose 50 pounds tonight, hey, that'd be great.
That's a good point.
Okay. Next up, we need to do emergency fund of 6 months. And we'll do the math on it, but got to get that done this year. Then, Grant, I want you to work on some number that you need for this house you're going to build and the property.
Yeah.
Break that into years.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
So in your homework, Grant's homework is the number for the house. Like how many years, what, blah, blah, blah. Just do some rough numbers so we can play with that. Yeah. Now, Anna, when we had first met, we had said we're going to set some different goals for your business, kind of lives touched or something. So what are we measuring this year?
It's interesting that you're reminding me of that because I'd already shifted back into money.
Do you see why I did that? It's almost like I know what I'm doing. Like,
yeah. All right. Lives touched. So I need to make actual goals around that. I
got to pause you first. Why'd you switch back to money?
Because I want to make it.
Okay, let me give you another example, and then I'm going to come back to you and actually get a number from you. So right now I'm doing an initiative. So 2022 was great for my company, did better than I ever expected. So I said, okay, I want to give back. And I decided from January to February, I'm going to do 30 minutes of free financial planning for 45 people in 45 days. Because there's a whole lot of people that can't afford my services, but I could serve. Like I had somebody this afternoon, disabled and trying to figure out how to balance things. And, got divorced and like, how do you do it? So I said, okay, I'm going to help 45 people in 45 days. What financial impact does that have to me? Zero. I mean, I don't know. Somebody might sign up, but that's not the intent. But to those 45 people, that's a huge impact. And I can do it in a time frame and it's a goal. And by the way, now the hard part is marketing it and all that stuff. But it's a good way to give back and it's a measure. And it's like my way of doing like pro bono work or kind of just good for the heart, kind of like, let me go help some people and then see. And it's interesting. The people that have signed up, the vast majority of them are like, hey, I'm struggling with, cool. So those are people that could really use it. And there's some people that, hey, I want to talk about investing, right? Cool. That's whatever you need. But if I did it by a dollar sign, I wouldn't do that initiative.
Mm-hmm.
You see, Anna, I came back to you. Like, that's the difference of purpose.
Right.
So what's your measure?
Yeah, I think it would be really cool because I haven't, even though we talked about it, you asked me this before and I came up with the lives touched. I haven't tracked it. I haven't used that as, and by not tracking it, I'm not motivating myself to like do things to try and reach that in a different way or think differently about what I'm doing. So yeah.
You reverted back to
Yes.
money.
Yes.
So let me give you an idea of how I'm tracking it. So
Okay.
I have their name. I have to track state because I can only help people in the US. You can probably get away with that. What date they're meeting with me? Did I meet with them? That's my simple measure. And it's just enough to go, okay, first thing I'm looking at is, do I have enough appointments set? So actually, I'll look at my number right now and I'll share it. If you're going to share everything, I might as well share everything. So I got 16 people signed up right now, which that's doing pretty well. I need to get another 30 or so. And I've met with 5 of those. Okay, I'm on the right. So, but it gives you that measure. The other thing I'm going to encourage you, because of what you do, is share it publicly. My goal is to help 100 people this year. Sign up here. And now people are like, oh, what are you helping with? This is what I'm doing. Okay. How can you help me? Okay. How do we? And now it holds you accountable, and B, it gets you out of the money mindset.
Right. Yeah.
Some of yours will turn into money also, but that's not the primary measure.
Yeah.
All right. So here's what I'm going to do with this one. Grant's going to hold you accountable for this one. So I'm going to make a note here. I got to plan this out. So Anna has to, in the next 7 days, so by the end of the month, figure out her goals for 2023. She's going to email them to me and to Grant so we know what they are. We can work through them more. Anna, in your process, you're probably going to need both what we call process measures and outcome measures. So, like, for example, you may need to track number of interactions or number of subscribers or number of likes or number of clicks or something like that. And then also number of people and then whatever it is. So what's happening is we're driving to the same goals, but for a different reason. Finance will happen, and we're going to work through some of that also. But we started with, it's not about finance, it's about lives. And if we, and even just a month or two of not looking at that in a focus shift.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
So make a guess. How many lives do you think you could impact this year?
I don't know why the number that popped into my head was 500. That seems
Okay.
like a lot, but we'll go with it.
And how are you measuring that I've impacted them?
I mean, them in some form, whether it's a message, a direct face-to-face telling me that.
Okay. So we want people to say that I impacted them. Now, by the way, the hard part with that is I'm going to impact a lot more people than they say.
Mm-hmm.
So great example is, if you ask clients for reviews, 1 out of 10-ish. By the way, for small businesses, the best thing you can do is leave a review, so like, but you could ask your audience, hey, by the way, blame me always. Hey, Dr. J says I need to do this. can you help me understand how I've impacted your life this year?
Hmm.
And by the way, you can point them to this video so they understand the background of it if you want. But now you're going, help me understand. It's a
Yeah.
way to get that feedback. What you
Just
might
ask for it.
crazy, I know, like, but that's why, by the way, that's why I always let people blame me because it like they don't feel like they can ask for it themselves. But like,
Right.
I got homework, so I have to do this.
Right. It is.
Uh,
It made it much more easier. The
when you're-
idea of just being like, hey, I have to do this. You can see in this video why I have to do this.
you may also learn a lot by that. You may find that actually, I'm willing to put money on it. You're going to find you are impacting people in a completely different way than you think you are.
Hmm.
You know, they're going to say, oh, you made this post and blah, blah, blah. Okay. I'm not a social media person. I don't understand social media. I did a event with CNBC and they came and like did a camera crew and all that. And I put a photo up saying behind the scenes what I did had more likes than anything I've ever done in my life. And I'm like, I spent all this time making this content to help you in the videos that Grant's watching and all this. And like one silly behind the scene, but they're like, oh, thank you for representing us and thank you for getting the word out. And like, oh. So my
Wow.
point is that's what you're going to see, something different. You may also find they want something different from you.
Hmm.
So the follow-up, by the way, do this in social media world. You know it better than I do. So the first one is Dr. J says, I have to find out how it impacted you. The second homework is, oh yeah, he said I also asked, how do you want me to help you this year?
Hmm.
Now we got information.
Yeah. Just writing that down.
I know. I was
Okay.
Grant's watching over your shoulder going, that makes sense. Grant, the reason why I pulled you into her goals is just to keep her focused on not money.
Yeah, that's good because if we start talking about money, I just talk about money. But I don't know if we've talked about it a lot the last month or so, but
I don't think
yeah,
so.
it is good for me to keep that in mind too. That's not the goal.
Well, we have two sets of goals. We have like overarching financial goals,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have kind of personal goals. You know, Grant's got his at work, but what happens is when you're running your own small business, the small business and personal and finance they start switching together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those of us that run our own business can't leave it at home. You know, we're like, oh, I'm just going to work over this corner and never have it cross over. So, I mean, come on, we're doing a recording for a podcast when we're talking about your finances. It's all combined together.
Right. Doesn't get more combined than that. Yeah.
All right. So I want you to, I'm not going to commit you to any of those goals right this second, but by the end of the month, send an email with this is what it is. And I would probably even send out those Instagram messages or whatever beforehand. So probably give you an idea.
Yeah.
You know, if 50 people say you've already touched their life in the last 23 days, well, then 500 in the year is probably doable.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. We're going to come back to it. The reason why I focus you on the goals is it allows you to keep on the budget.
Mm-hmm.
Without goals, you're like, I'll just spend the extra money.
Right.
Yeah.
What? Us?
All right. So let me grab your budget and we'll look at it for February. Share the screen here. All right. Boom. Here we go. Grant, your pay should stay the same during February because it's 15th and 30th. Cool. All right. Let's just look here. We got the rent. That's not changing. Health insurance, you updated this number?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, 1 second, I'm just fighting my screens. Groceries, we've been able to stay somewhere around there, or how's that been going?
We've probably exceeded it a
Yeah.
little.
But that seems really achievable for February.
Yeah, February's a shorter month. We should be able to do
Yeah.
that. All right. So we sold the second car. Cool. That should bring your auto insurance down. Any idea to what?
I think it's gonna bring it down $60.
Okay. I would also check with them and see if there's a discount to pay for the year.
Okay.
Like they usually like charge you like a fee for monthly, like 10% extra or something. So you save money.
Okay.
All right. So we've got Anna still got a student loan here. But that, by the way, keep in mind, student loans are up in the air until at least August. I would ignore this until they figure out what the Supreme Court decides. So
Okay.
it's there, but $3,000 in theory would get wiped out. So this home equity is gone already, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you still have the line of credit.
Yes.
Okay. Make sure you find out if there's like any annual fee or like a minimum balance you need to keep on or something. Like some of them are pretty cool. Like you could just keep it and just no big deal. If there's an ongoing fee, then we'd have to look at, is it worth keeping?
Yeah. Yeah. That's good to be aware of.
All right. We're going to pay off tonight. Keep it up. I'm going to make you do it right this second. So, all right. So what that does is now it's got your musts are down to $2,000 a month, which
Wild.
tells me you have about $5,000 you can do whatever you want with. One of the things I talked about is I like putting 10% here. Actually, let me do the math for this one so that it works in the future. This is going towards emergency fund. We can do that now because we don't have the other debt payments. So we were paying up. We already got that internet cable that hasn't changed. Who's your cell phone with?
Google Fi.
Okay. This is reasonable, but just FYI, I went to Mint Mobile and it was like saved me like $100 a month. It was crazy.
Oh wow.
Now, have you set up these sinking funds yet, or this was like a cool idea that you haven't done yet?
We have not.
Cool. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open an account. You know, Ally, Chase, few others have this. How much did you spend in gifts for Christmas?
I have no idea. But we could find out.
Yeah.
2,000, 5,000, 200.
What do you think?
I don't know. 1,000, 1,500.
Yeah, that's probably.
Okay. We will double check this, but I'm going to put this up to $150 because here's what we do. You put this in a sinking fund. You can use it when you need it. Same with the house maintenance, auto maintenance. Then next Christmas, you'll have $1,500 or more in there, and you don't have that up and down. It also puts a little bit of budget on. All right, so we got pets, cool. And we set dining out and travel. Are these numbers working?
I think so.
I think they will. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we exceeded the dining out last month or even in December. Oh, wait, last month was December, but you know.
Yeah. So the other thing we didn't put here is pocket money. And so here's how this works. Let's say we put $400 here. It means you each get $200 to do whatever you want with. Like that's your like, I want to buy a gift for each other. Let me go with that one. Or like, you know, like I want the espresso or I want whatever. And the way this works is you each get 200. And if you want to like save it over month so you can spend it on something bigger, great. Or if you want to just use it up that month, fine. that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I
And
remember
it's
that.
it's intentionally separate from dining out and travel because it's like this is just like spending money, pocket money, just kind of like whatever. Um, some months, like me and my wife have this, and some months we hit it, some months we don't spend it all. You know, we don't keep it down to the penny, but like if you stop like at a gas station, grab a drink every day, it adds up to $200 in a month, like
Yeah.
or whatever that is. Um, so yeah, there. And we have to go back and we have to add in a iFit membership.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you see, you try to get her. You keep trying to pull tricks on me and surprise that, like I'm listening to you and you're like, what the heck? Grant's waiting to hear this number and fall out of his chair.
I think I know the number.
Is it 30 or
I think it's
39?
30. Yeah.
I couldn't
think it's 30.
remember.
All right, $30. Not a big deal. All right. So what that means is even with the pocket money, we're putting $700 plus $24.74. So we can actually put just over $3,000 a month towards your emergency fund.
Hmm.
Now, your monthly expenses as a total, just shy of 4,000. So we can round this up and say goal, emergency fund, 24,000. That's 6 months of expenses, including pocket money. If you really want to get cheap, you could like take out the pocket money and just, 6 times the must and the shoulds. But I'm giving you guys a little just extra room just in case.
Yeah.
So it is realistic to say, okay, cool. In 6 months, we'll have a fully funded emergency fund and no debt.
Yeah. Yeah. That feels really good.
Yeah.
That was going to be my question. Now, the bonus of that is then, Grant, for that math on the house that you're going to build,
Yeah.
essentially do the math based on $3,000 a month going to it,
Sure.
which actually pretty quickly gets you there.
Yeah.
What looked like a big, like hairy, audacious goal, like you could never get to it. Do the steps, and it's pretty easy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's been really cool to break it down like that.
Yeah.
Is this budget good for February, or is there anything we're missing?
I think it's good. Do you have anything?
No, I think it's good.
Okay. Weekly budget meetings. That's going to be one of those that helps you. Now, speaking of weekly budget meetings, let's do it this way. So what day of the week works best for you on that?
I think we should do a weeknight.
Yeah.
I think if we leave it on the weekend, we'll
No.
not do it.
Cool. So Wednesday?
Not Wednesday. How about Monday or Tuesday?
Yeah. Those are
Okay.
great.
All right. Monday is your budget night with Tuesday as a backup.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Because
Yeah.
like sometimes work gets in the way or, something, but and by the way, 15, 20 minutes doesn't have to be like giant. Pay off the credit cards, check the budget. Are we on path? Cool. Done.
Awesome.
I'm just trying to build a habit.
Yeah.
The other thing I'm going to build a habit is we are going to meet at the end of the month every month because you've learned if we miss a month, we put it off.
Yeah.
You two are very normal. I had a couple that would be dead on their budget, perfect. Then like summer came, so they skipped me for 2 months. The third month they came back. Oh, it didn't go so well. And I was like, And then next time we get together, we're going to work on the open enrollment. Also, part of that, Grant, we're going to look at your retirement and what you're putting towards retirement and all that fun stuff.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good idea.
That's part of open
That'd be
enrollment, which will adjust some of our goals a little bit. It's okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Other questions?
I don't have any.
Mm-mm. No, I don't
No.
think so.
What I've learned is I have to have a quiz ready for the videos because Grant's watching. Once you get out of financial foundations, there's a lot of fun stuff on investing and all that. But we do the
Okay.
first level first. And you're
Yeah.
doing the right thing, and that's cool. There's also there's a video in there, kind of like which benefits to choose and all that too. But I'll go through all
Okay.
that next time, and we'll
Sure.
look through your real benefits and do the math on it. And,
Yeah,
so-
it's been really nice. Like, it's been a nice companion to these sessions because a lot of the same stuff comes up, and it's a good reinforcement. And I feel like I would have difficulty just watching the videos and then doing some action. So it's nice to have some accountability.
So the behind the scenes, what I did is I just took every question a client's asked me for like 6 months, and then made a video for each of them.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right on.
Because I'm like, you're like, well, what tips and tricks do you have? And what about, like you were debating about emergency funds, or, it's all,
Yeah.
that was the intent. So you're on the right page.
That's all for this week's episode of Childfree Wealth Podcast. Be sure to follow Childfree Wealth on social media, email us at podcast@childfreewealth.com, or visit our website, www.childfreewealth.com.